Hello, my name is Bianca Winship, and this is the second video of 2 instructional videos for EDU 750. This video will model a reading lesson that I conducted with my 4th grade student, Lila. As mentioned in my word study video, I chose a section of text related to Lila's 3rd and 4th grade writing unit in historical fiction. From a previous session with Lila, we reviewed and discussed what books she was reading in class, and she shared that she really enjoyed the class read aloud of Number the Stars and also Rose Blanche, which both took place during World War II Nazi Germany. She also mentioned that her class was talking a lot about influential women and influential Black figures in history. So from the 5 books that I brought, Lila chose a picture book called Brave Harriet by Marissa Moss. It's a story about Harriet Quimby, the first woman to fly over the English Channel. So for this activity, my goal for Lila was to support her fluency, accuracy, and comprehension for historical fiction and biographies. We first did a picture walk to specifically look for clues of the time period. One of the major goals of the unit of study in historical fiction for 4th grade is to build perspective of the time period. So we took quite a bit of time to view each picture, looking for clues that this book didn't take place during our time period. The activity also elicited a lot of background knowledge of the time period for Lila. During our picture walk, Lila also made predictions about the story that we would challenge during our shared reading. You'll notice during the picture walk that she even makes connections to noticing that the type of aircraft looks very similar to the Wright brothers and what they flew with. So that was another way for her to really connect with the reading before we jumped in.
Wants to write it, maybe.
So does this time period look different than now?
Kind of.
What clues do you see that make you think that?
Because there's more like green and there's not like big solid buildings over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. So there's less like buildings that you're noticing. Do you notice anything else?
That there's an old plane.
The plane looks different, right? Our planes don't look like that right now. Is there anything else?
She's wearing a different dress than we do.
Nice. So her clothes and the technology look different. Nice, Lila. All right, see if there are any more clues.
There's more cities over here because they're in New York.
How could you tell?
Because that's the Statue.
Nice. So it still was a time where the Statue of Liberty was around.
And then that's the plane.
You think it's the same one?
Yeah.
Oh, how about this page?
It looks like they're going on a picnic at the beach.
It does. And your comment about the clothes, like he's wearing a hat. You don't usually see men walking around with these kinds of hats. And she's got a hat, too, that's very ornate.
Because it looks like she is wearing a beach dress with a beach hat.
Oh, this page is interesting.
He looks like a wizard.
He does look like a wizard. I'm very interested to read this page. That red scarf seems very deliberate.
He looks like he's a fight person.
How could you tell?
Because he's wearing goggles.
Very nice,
And
Lila.
Maybe that's a parachute.
It could be, because it's kind of billowing, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe he just jumped out of the plane.
He does kind of look like a villain, though, doesn't he? Those dark colors.
Yes, wait. That's the same person.
All right. So you think that's Harriet?
I think she's sad because she wants to go out.
How could you tell?
Because it looks like it's raining, and I think she wants to go on the plane.
Okay.
Is that her?
Oh my goodness. She's kind of wearing similar clothes to this.
Maybe that's their coats.
It could be, yeah. Like maybe that's the uniform of a pilot.
Maybe they have to take off the thing first, and then there'll be like a different thing under it. Because I know, because I've seen the Peanuts movie,
Snoopy.
And Snoopy wears.
Where's that scarf and then even that hat, right? And then I'm noticing the plane, like it's all open here. So when she's flying, like that must be cold.
And there's another person that can sit right there.
Oh, right back here? It doesn't look, oh my goodness, this is like all open. I wouldn't want to sit back there.
I would stand.
Yeah. You are brave. Look.
I think that's her, and there's a ton of people watching her.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's like the plane place to fix up the plane. But it looks like the plane is going down because of the smoke. Also, that's the thing that goes around.
Oh, yeah. What's that thing called? The propeller.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's smoke or the propeller.
Okay. Propeller. Okay. And then... Ooh.
Now she's going overseas.
Yeah. And we kind of heard that in the little summary at the beginning.
That you shouldn't go on
over the sea, right? Why do you think that would be?
Because then nobody can contact her. That's the front.
The front? Oh, it's the cover page. You are very observant. All right, so once our picture walk was complete, we alternated reading of the book, and as we read, I kept a word collection bank to track Lila's miscues to inform future word study and decoding strategies. Another goal of this read aloud activity was to build Lila's understanding of the characters. After each page, I prompted Lila with, based on what she read, what did she learn about Harriet, prompting her to use specific evidence from the text. And I then modeled jotting down what we had learned using boxes and bullets on a Post-it. Again, this book is called Brave Harriet by Marissa Moss. And it starts with, it's a strange thing to see an airplane fly. The thing is so gawky and bumbling on the ground, so spindly and flimsy looking. But then, once in the air, it soars with grace and beauty of a hawk, strong enough to lift a person high above the trees and into the clouds. I hadn't grown up wishing to be a pilot, because there were no places when I was a girl. But once I saw one, I knew where I belonged. There, at the controls, with blue sky all around me. The day I saw my first plane was the same day I started flying. The same day I started flying lessons, eager for my chance to be alone in my own great bird. My friends thought I was crazy. There I was, already a successful newspaper writer. Why would I risk my life in such a rattle-trap, gum and spit contraption? But to me, there was no reason to be afraid, only a reason to soar, a longing to be among the first high up in the clouds. Whoa, we've already learned a lot about her. So what I already heard was that
she wants to go up on the plane.
The first time she saw it, right? It was almost like love at first sight. Harriet. So what we already know about her is that she wants to be a pilot.
Because she saw it.
But what I also learned about her was that she writes for a newspaper. What do we call that? Successful newspaper writer. A journalist. And I also was wondering about a part here where it said, I hadn't grown up wishing to be a pilot because there were no planes when I was a girl, but once I saw one, I knew where I belonged. So that tells me that planes, were just invented. So that kind of places us on our timeline a bit.
From these two brothers, I think.
Oh, you're talking about the Wright brothers? Yeah, because this plane almost looks similar to the one that they had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You want to try this page?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that first time I flew solo, it was as if I had finally found where I belonged. I didn't have to think about what to do. My body just knew, it was like I'd grown wings from my shoulders. Flying felt so natural, but it didn't seem natural to the wind.
Let's read through it and see what happens, and see if we can pick up a word.
Bored, I applied for my pilot's lessons. That looks like listening.
Let's see if it fits. But it doesn't seem natural to the listening board.
Listen.
This word, it's almost like
ice.
Yeah, you see that little word ice in there?
Mm-hmm.
So what if you read that first chunk?
License.
And then there's another little word at the end. Licensing. Like a driver's license.
Licensing board when I applied for my pilot's lesson. No woman has ever revamped a lesson to fly. The official told me gratefully, "You mean no woman has yet?" I replied. I went on to pass not one but two flight tests, cutting figure eights perfectly. Around two tests, pylons, and I adapted. It was very satisfying to see the officials facing again as he handed me my license. Then the next day I was already flying air shows, barnstorming. We call it dong loop, the loops, wing walking and fly around Staten Islands. But the night of the full moon but it wasn't enough. I wanted more. That's when I decided to do it. I become the first woman to fly solo across the English Channel.
Ooh, very well done, Lila. Are you going to special?
I'm going to art, but I think we can do like a couple more minutes.
Okay. Because I have a couple more minutes too. So what did we learn about Harriet on this page?
That she got to do a solo flight and she was good.
And she was good. How could you tell she was good?
Because the officials was like saying that she did like the doing the loops wing flag and then
so doing those loop-de-loops
and other
and the
things.
Figure eights really showed her skill. But that official, he also gave us information about the time and about Harriet too. What was his reaction to her even trying to get her pilot's license?
He was like, there was never a girl wanted to do it.
And you mean no woman has yet? I replied. What does that mean?
That she's like shocked.
Because she's the first one. Is that true? So, you could see that Lila is retaining some of her decoding strategies from when she was trying to decode licensing by looking for small words, but I do still need to prompt her to read through words or to stop and think if a word makes sense. For our next session, we will continue to collect information to build an understanding of the character's motivations and struggles to support a writing response where Lila will use evidence from the text to support her ideas. This is another one of Lila's writing goals, and as part of our work, I will also build Lila's character trait vocabulary. This concludes my instructional video. Thank you for watching, and I look forward